Hi guys, welcome to another one of my videos. Today I'm going to be speaking about something that is extremely personal and probably one of the hardest videos that I will probably ever have to make. But I think it's extremely important and I can't really be silent about this topic any longer. So I'm going to start out with some statistics that you can just like randomly look up on the internet, but I think that they're shocking to say the least. So here it goes. Every 73 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted. Most are underreported, which means that those are just the reported ones. Only 5% of sexual assaults are proven false. 90% of adult rape victims are women. 20,000 sexual assaults were reported in our military last year. 70 women commit suicide every day following an act of sexual violence. 1 in 6 U.S. women have been raped or molested. Now, this isn't just a female problem. Men are also victims of sexual assault. Most that happen to men are usually under the age of 10 years old. Most are also boys are usually assaulted by men. One of the reasons that this happens is it gets an act of aggression and not necessarily out of sexual desire. 16% of males in juvenile hall are sexually assaulted or abused. These are just like a few random statistics. Some of the other stuff that I read was even a little bit more like horrifying. So I just wanted to like first off go into what causes this and why this is an issue and how it came about. First of all, sex isn't love, and I think that's a big one that has a lot to do with it, is that a lot of times that we confuse sex with love because that's what we see everywhere, that's what we see around us, and this is also a way that abusers can rationalize in their head what they're doing, is that, you know, they're just showing their affection, they're just showing how much they care or love for somebody. Sex is not love. Sexual assault isn't even have anything to do with sex. Actually, it has to do with control and power. This is usually something that's called a generational curse as well. A lot of sexual, especially like incest and sexual molestation, happen within their own family. It's usually people that they know. There's a really high statistic on that, but I didn't write it down. So what that means is that that's usually their abuser is somebody that they know, they love, and they trust. They say 40% of molestation victims were actually sleeping at the time that their abuse first occurred. So when they're most vulnerable. Like I said, this is about control. How does one become a pedophile? How does one become an abuser? Well, there's several different ways that can manifest. One of the ways is that they could have been abused themselves. You know, pedophiles or rapists, they were once children too. So a lot of times what happens is that they were the victim of a sexual act or violence, or they had situations in their childhood that they felt they had no control over. Or also it manifests when someone is led to believe that they are more superior than other people. So that's why sometimes you see it more in like athletes or people in higher standings or people that have a lot of money or come up with a lot of money. Not saying that people that have money are all bad, because that's not the case. It's just that some people develop when they're young that they're told, "Why, you're so and more important than everybody else," and so they build this complex that their life matters more than other people around them, and that other people are dispensable, or that they can own other people. So this gives them that. Sorry, to stop the video for a second. But these are just the different ways that abuser, pedophile, or rapist can come into creation, is through these cycle of events. This is not an excuse for the behavior. We're all eventually grow up to be adults, and we have a decision if we're going to follow along the same path or if we're going to make a change and heal and grow. Some people who are the victims of sexual assaults, they don't become abusers. Like, honestly, I thought when I was younger that I was going to become an abuser because like I had heard that a long time ago when that had stuck with me, but that's not how it manifested in me. It did manifest through several control issues, super control freak. You know, things like if I planned out a day and something didn't go exactly the way it went, like I would lose my mind and the whole day would be ruined. Or if, you know, they put mayo on my sandwich, I hate mayo. They put mayo on my sandwich, I was like freaked out. I wouldn't eat it. Like, you know, it was just like not gonna happen. And that was like my way of like controlling the situation. It also manifests in having, you know, extremely low self-esteem, being extremely shameful, following into bad relationship after bad relationship because that's all that you believe that you deserve or you're worth. You know, depression, things of that nature. Also, you know, you can become an abuser, but in different ways too, not necessarily a sexual abuser, but, you know, somebody that abuses themselves or the person that they're with or the relationships or their children, things like that as well. So that's why it's extremely important, if you want to break this cycle, that you have to start with yourself. Almost every single person, regardless of it being sexual, is abused in some shape or form growing up, if not by their caretaker or their parent, but by somebody that they know or somebody that they love. All right, just a few more little tidbits about how it manifests and what the causes and how destructive sexual assault and abuse could be. Another big one besides shame. Shame is like one of the ultimate ones. It's actually how they use, that's how you know, they stop you from telling other people and keeping you quiet, is that, you know, you don't want to tell other people because you're ashamed of your behavior. You know, they might have told you stuff like, oh, you know, you wanted it, or, you know, you enjoyed it, or things like that. Another thing that people don't realize is that the human body is really reactive regardless if it's consensual or not. And so sometimes people of abuse have to live with that too, you know, like, oh my God, like, you know, my body reacted, does that mean that I wanted this, you know? And so that is, you know, could be extremely damaging to somebody. PTSD is another thing that, another issue that it causes. Most women or most people who go through that type of abuse have PTSD. I remember being a kid and going to my friend's house, and I would have like night terrors. I would like wake up in the middle of the night like screaming, and she probably thought I was crazy, but you know, that's another way that, you know, it manifested. I couldn't even sleep. You know, I've had insomnia for most of my life because of it, because, you know, when you're in your bed and that's the place that you're supposed to find solace and peace, and that doesn't come, it can be very terrifying. So yes, those are definitely different ways of how destructive this type of behavior could be. I do want to give you guys hope though. I know I've been so emotional through this, and it's just because like this is something that, you know, I ongoing have to deal with in my own personal growth and my own personal life. But I want to give you guys some hope that it's not the end. It's not the end of you. You know, I'm telling you, I'm not a victim anymore. I'm a warrior. I'm a goddamn warrior. You hear that? And, you know, I'm not going to be silenced by shame any longer. Like, I'm not. You know, and if people out there see the video and they don't like what I have to say, or they won't talk to me anymore because of what I'm saying, that's, you know, that's fine. That's probably the biggest thing that's held me back, is because people in my life have like flat out called me a liar, you know, like, she's a liar. And that happens often. That happens so often. And especially when it comes to that type of assault, because sometimes when that type of things happen to you, you turn to like drugs or like alcohol. You know, I've never been, you know, big with drugs, but like I have like experimented in my youth, and I've had, you know, dealt with, you know, alcohol when I was younger and stuff like that. But some people, that's their escape into it. And so a lot of people are like, oh, well, that chick's a drug addict, so, you know, like, how credible can she be? Well, why do you think she became a drug addict? So I'm telling you that there's still hope. And in my next video, it's hopefully going to be a lot more uplifting than this one. This one was really just to put the message out there that this is happening. This is something that we should be talking about. This is something that we should talk to our children about. Another thing is that, like, when you are raising children, to make sure you tell them the proper parts for their body. Because, you know, somebody can go to school and be like, hey, you know, my uncle licked my cookie or something like that, and the teacher's like, oh, that's cute, like, whatever, you know. But No, that's not your cookie, it's your vagina. So it's your penis. It's not these other little names that we come up with because we think that they're cute. No, these are your body parts. These are the parts that you need to be aware of. These are the parts of your body that you need to know are sacred to you. So I also think that's extremely important. But I want to give everybody out there that I know has been a victim of sexual assault, there's a warrior inside of you. There is a bad bitch inside of you that doesn't have to be afraid or ashamed or any of these things. And again, I'm getting emotional again, and it's not because I'm sad. Like, it's because like I am filled with like this rage and this anger still. And that's also something that, you know, I've been having to work on a lot. And that's where a lot of those emotions for me stem from, is like the anger and the rage about this thing, you know, this thing happening to me. But like, I'm here to tell you that you can take your power back. You can, you know, take it back, you know. Hey guys, I know this video has been a lot choppier than my other videos, and it is because it's been really difficult for me to get through. But I just want to thank the people that have been watching my videos. You guys have given me the strength and the courage to speak out, to speak my truth. I just, again, want to tell you guys that, you know, don't let these events in your life define you, that there is healing, that there is life after trauma, that you are important, that you deserve to be healed. Your children deserve for you to be healed. The future of this world deserves this. And I love you guys. I love you guys so very, very much. I love everybody. I don't think there's any bad people. I just think there's a bunch of lost, hurt individuals that keep hurting and abusing people. And I just want that chain of events to stop. So I love you. I hope you join me again in my next video. Victim to warrior.